It's the transfer saga that just won't go away. For years, Ineos Grenadiers have had their eyes on Remco Evenepoel, and now in 2025, the Belgian superstar might finally be on his way to the British outfit. As we know, Remco Evenepoel's rise from a footballer to a Grand Tour winner is one of the greatest stories we've seen in modern cycling. At the Innsbruck World Championships as a junior, he managed to win not only the individual time trial, but also go on to win the road race. And after that, he has really gone on to wins here, there and everywhere, from monuments to world championships in both the time trial and the road race, and last year in Paris becoming a double Olympic champion. And even at the Tour de France on his debut, he managed to finish third and take a stage win as the world champion in the time trial. So let's rewind. Ever since Remco Evenepoel won the Vuelta a España in 2022, Ineos have been circling around the Belgian, with David Brailsford jokingly asking how much it would take for them to acquire the services of Remco. They knew what he could be. Potentially Remco Evenepoel could be the new face of cycling, a rider who could bring them back to the Tour de France glory days that ended in 2019, where Egan Bernal was their last winner. But Remco Evenepoel, as we know, stayed loyal with Soudal Quick-Step. He gave Soudal Quick-Step one more vote of confidence. Management promised reinforcements, a revamped GC squad. He believed in that project, or maybe was just buying time. We know that they did completely dissect their classic squads in favor of the Belgian, with many of their big classics riders going out the way, such as Julian Philippe, Kasper Eskrein and the likes, and it became more of a GC team with riders such as Michael Landa and Jan Hurt joining the team, and suddenly Soudal Quick-Step were looking more like a GC team than that classic sprints team that we've seen. Then came the bombshell in 2024 that Red Bull-Bora, a new player in terms of the wider cycling GC battle, reportedly put a €10 million offer on the table to sign Evenepoel. Red Bull-Bora with a stronger budget than Soudal Quick-Step and more expertise when it came to climbers, with Primož Roglic, Daniel Martinez and Jade Hindley already being on the books, and 10 million would make him the highest paid rider as well in the sport, and ever just from the salary of a team. Reportedly, Evenepoel said no. Why? The question? Because the pieces for something even bigger were already in motion, perhaps with Ineos. According to reports from AS and Eurosport Italia, Remco has had an agreement with Ineos Grenadiers since the winter of 2024, and now in May of 2025, the rumor mill has exploded. The whispers are no longer whispers. Eurosport Italia went as far as saying that Evenepoel will almost certainly sign for Ineos Grenadiers this year, and the report from AS claims that the deal has been done for months, with the rumors of TotalEnergies and Ineos Grenadiers merging as well. But the complications did remain, and that was that Remco Evenepoel had an exclusive contract with Specialized, like we've seen with other riders such as Alberto Contador and Peter Sagan in the past, and Remco has ridden with the brand for his entire career thus far. This is where it gets tricky, or maybe not tricky. Ineos Grenadiers have been loyal to Pinarello since 2010 and have won multitudes of Grand Tours and races on the bike. And with Remco Evenepoel being tied to Specialized, this was a bit of a sticky moment. Neither sides seem to want to give in some respect, but one thing is clear: you don't let a bike brand dictate the future of your team when Remco Evenepoel is potentially on the line. And reports are that Pinarello are more in line with Q36.5, with Tom Pidcock being acquired by that team. So it seems that Remco Evenepoel could be potentially the reason why Ineos Grenadiers are going to revert from Pinarello and go over to Specialized. And if that does happen, then the path is lined up for Remco Evenepoel to make that smooth transition. However, there is a bit of a question here, because if Red Bull-Bora were willing to offer €10 million and were on Specialized, what is the difference between Red Bull-Bora and Ineos Grenadiers in this moment in time? Red Bull-Bora have already won a Grand Tour Evenepoel, or shall we say more recently, winning the Vuelta a España in 2024. And isn't that the sort of thing that Remco would look at? And Primož Roglic isn't the youngest rider anymore, so he could really slot into that team and be the big cheese there. Whereas in Ineos Grenadiers, they have a very youthful squad. Egan Bernal was seen as the face of the team, but after his disaster in Colombia in 2022, that kind of took a bit of a shift, and they have been looking for that next rider. The timing could be quite good with Ineos, as Geraint Thomas retires at the end of the season, and he has been doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the Grand Tour results. It also means that it frees up a large chunk of salary cap, as he reportedly earned up to 3.5 million a year at some point, and the reports are that Remco Evenepoel currently earns around the 3-4 million euro mark at Quick-Step, so Ineos Grenadiers can easily match that. But it still doesn't make sense why Red Bull-Bora Hansgrohe's alleged offer of 10 million was turned down if you compare the two scenarios of Red Bull-Bora Hansgrohe and Ineos Grenadiers, with Red Bull already being on Specialized. Because is their team really that much stronger in the mountains? Not quite, in my opinion. Another worry with Ineos Grenadiers is perhaps that their owner of Jim Ratcliffe is reportedly more interested in the football side with Manchester United and has lost a lot of his wealth through different investments. So maybe he will look to not invest a lot in the cycling team. Ineos have been rebuilding for many years, as we know. Bernal never fully recovered. Their next Tour de France leader is a question mark. It has been a revolving door, with Carlos Rodriguez being tried as well, and Tom Pidcock as well being suspected of filling that role. But Remco Evenepoel could potentially be the one to be leading them in the Tour. But beating Tadej Pogačar and Jonas Vingegaard is certainly going to be an interesting challenge. He's got the time trial, he's got the explosiveness, the aggression. He's already a monument winner, serial world champion, and a Grand Tour champion as well. But he needs structure and depth in the team. A team built around him with stronger riders and younger riders than that of Quick-Step would be very good for him. Quick-Step never gave him that really. Ineos can, with riders such as Carlos Rodriguez, Arensman, Sheffield, and a world-class support team. Remco Evenepoel could finally take an aim at the Tour de France with real firepower. So, is it happening? All signs say yes, but this is cycling, so who knows? The documents may have already been signed, and once the bike sponsor has been announced of Ineos changing to Specialized, this is potentially the first stepping stone, and we might finally see what we've been waiting for years. Remco Evenepoel in the Ineos Grenadiers team, leading the Ineos Grenadiers in a new era, is certainly something that should intrigue every single cycling fan. But for now, that's basically it for this video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know down below what you think of this. Is it all hearsay, or is this actually happening in 2026? But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.